Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch the Super Bowl. Hey, y'all. Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Welcome to Sisters Who Watch.
I'm Shelby.
And I'm Laura, and we're sisters who watch everything. TV, movies, sports, music videos, concerts, and much more.
Yes.
We love to watch. We love talking about it even more. Today we're watching the Super Bowl!
Super Bowl 58 in the NFL season.
Yes. Shelby and I, we love sports.
Yes.
Love them.
Grew up as sports fans, football in particular. So, we'd surprise you. We know a lot about the game.
Yes. No, literally, anytime I go anywhere and there's like a bunch of bros talking about sports, then I'm like, yeah, I'm in all these fantasy leagues and I won and all this stuff. They're like, what? You know about sports?
Shocker! Surprise!
Shocker! Exactly. So now we're going to talk about the NFL season. Our family has been really into the NFL for the longest time.
Yes.
So we're excited to talk about it.
It runs in our blood.
And of course, we're excited to talk about Rihanna. I mean,
that was the highlight.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, that was the highlight of the Super Bowl. Okay.
Let's be honest.
So first, let's dive in. So we're going to talk about like the preseason, you know? So talk about what we're excited about for the 2023 NFL season. Also, I know that we both love fantasy football.
We do.
Yes.
I was exposed to it for the first time at my last job. It was in finance. All these guys were doing it. They were looking for someone else to join the team. Asked me. I was like, sure. I ended up winning the whole league.
And took all their money.
That $200 pop. And it was great. And ever since, it was like, wow, I like this. So we started a family fantasy football league.
Yes.
And it's been really fun. Yes, and I'm the manager of the family league.
Yeah, so was a family league the only one you were in this year?
Yes, that was my only one.
Yes, and this year, I was in 3 different ones.
Too many.
Which is
crazy.
Too many.
Hard to keep up.
So this year, I was in the family league, and I actually won our family fantasy league. Yes.
On the backs of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
Yes.
That's all I'll say.
They're a really good dynamic duo in fantasy. Like, every year, I usually have them on one of my teams because they're just so consistently good. You can't beat them.
Next year, we can't let you have both.
Exactly. So, I was in our family league. I won. And then I was in 2 other leagues. But I did pretty bad in those other leagues.
Oof.
I was in a work league with other new grads. And I came in last.
No,
I did, but it was
last.
It was a league that it was like the max amount of people. So
those are tougher.
Yeah, it's way tougher because you only have maybe 1 or 2 actually good players, and the rest are no names. So it's so much harder to do well in those leagues. So on paper, my team was good, but just flopped and flopped.
It's tough.
It was rough. So I came in last on that one. And then I was in a league with some other alums from college, some college friends. And I landed in the middle of the pack. Yeah, right in the middle. So.
Well, at least you won our league.
I won.
You got the bragging rights.
So, no money though, but that's okay.
Hey, it's about bragging rights.
I won.
So you still win. A win's a win.
Okay, so let's go into the non-fantasy league. Like, what were you excited about coming into this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just excited for a return to football.
Right.
You know, I think during the summer there just isn't as many sports happening. No. So it's a little dead, and so it was a welcome return. It was exciting. I've had a love and hate relation with football. You know, it can be a little problematic and rough at times. But at the end of the day, I am a football fan, so I was excited in general for it to come back. In particular, you know, we are New Yorkers. We are Jets fans. There's a lot of buzz. The Jets were going to be a better team.
Jets.
So I thought this could be our year to make the playoffs. It did not happen.
Close.
We came close.
Right.
But at least we were better.
Yes.
Step in the right direction.
Better than usual, for sure. That's true.
Better than usual.
Okay, so...
What about you? Anything that you were excited about?
Okay, so I recently moved to San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really excited about adopting the 49ers as my home team. Of course, we're New Yorkers. We love the Jets. But the Jets are a rough franchise.
They've been awful for decades.
Exactly. And our mom is from Northern California, so she grew up loving the Niners and still roots for them.
Loves.
So I've always rooted for them.
Our uncle, our grandparents, the extended family, they
all love
diehard Niners fans.
So we've always kind of rooted for them, but now I'm living in the city. I'm like, yes, this is my team. So I was really excited to root for them, and they're always pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty consistent team.
Easy team to be a fan for. Exactly. So I was really excited to see what the Niners pulled off. And also, of course, Russell Wilson. This was like...
I know, Laura.
This was like his big move. I know, we're both big Russ fans.
Tough.
So we were really excited to see what he did as a Bronco. Tough. So...
I know. Let's ride. All that. He built himself up for sure. A lot of anticipation.
We'll get into it later, but I was excited about, the future of Russell. What he's going to do. Okay, so let's move on to the regular season.
Yeah.
So we have to first talk about, of course, the whole Damar Hamlin tragedy and situation. I know you were watching live.
Yeah. So it was a Monday Night Football game between the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals, deep in the season, like either the second to last week of the season, something like that. And these are two really good teams. They have history. They were fighting for playoff spots and seeding. And after a routine hit, Damar Hamlin passed out. And it was so scary. I was watching it with our brother and mom back in New York. We were watching it live, and it was terrifying.
Yeah.
And it just reminded all of us about how, scary and rough a game football can be, but just also how, life is so precious. Mm-hmm. So, and it was really powerful, I think, to see everyone come together and pray and realize that this isn't about the game, it's about this man and his life.
Right. And I remember I was out with friends that night getting dinner, and then I came back, and I know that y'all were so excited to see the game because Bills versus Bengals had a lot of playoff implications.
Anticipated, yes.
Exactly. So I was like, how's the game? And y'all were like, oh my goodness. We have to show you what happened. I said, what are you talking about? I was so confused. And then I realized how serious the situation was. And obviously, it's a blessing that he's okay. He was able to recover. But I just remember this was so beyond football. Yeah. Everyone was talking about this. He became a household name overnight.
News, headlines,
everything. So this was one of the most notable things that happened this season, so we had to talk about it at the jump.
I had to.
And I think this Damar Hamlin story really changed the NFL, for sure. And we're hoping that this doesn't go in vain and that this actually makes positive change and some changes happen in regards to player safety and player health, because that's very important.
Yes, let's hope so. Got to keep the momentum going.
Yes. So on to some more positive highlights from regular season. Shelby and I actually went to a game together.
We did.
Yes. We saw Sunday Night Football, the Chargers versus the Niners, and it was in Santa Clara at LVII Stadium, so Niners home game, and it was so fun. We had a great time. Of course, Shelby, she's now in LA, so she, has kind of adopted the LA teams. No? Yes,
a little bit. I mean, I don't really have teams right now, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'm from New York. I live in LA now. I'm fans of a variety of teams based more on players these days. Mm-hmm. But I was rooting for the Chargers and hoping for a win for them. Did not happen.
No.
But I was rooting for them. I mean, Justin Herbert is my fantasy quarterback. I had a lot of Chargers on my fantasy football team, so I was rooting for them for a few reasons, but they couldn't come out with the win. It was a tough defensive battle.
Yes, the Niners pulled it out, and that was our first time going to a Niners game. And we'd been to a couple Jets games, but I'd never experienced a crowd that intense before.
The fans are passionate.
They were serious.
Did not play no games. Little intense at times, but it was a fun environment to be in.
Yes.
Especially a Sunday night.
Oh, yeah, Sunday night. We'd never gone to a Sunday night game. No. I know you've been to a Monday night game.
Yeah, I had been to a Monday night game, Sunday afternoon games, but this was my first Sunday night football. I think the atmosphere is at another level.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun, and the fans were a good time, And we saw lots of people getting, like, kicked out, escorted by...
Intense. Yeah, people were passionate.
Yeah, they're wild. They're wild.
People love their football.
Really fun.
Love their Niners.
And we saw the Niners
Niner Nation
continue to be dominant this season.
Yes.
Okay, so, Shelby, tell me about, like, the biggest shocker surprise of the regular season. What were you not expecting?
What was I not expecting? You know, I could pick a lot of things, right? I could pick a sports team, I could pick a player, but I'm actually going to pick how much I liked the Manning cast on Monday Night Football.
Okay.
I know, a little surprise there, curveball. So for those of you that don't know, now ESPN, when they air Monday Night Football, they have a regular cast with the classic duo of Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, but then they also have a telecast with the Manning brothers, Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, right? Famous brothers who were quarterbacks in the NFL. And they have guests come, and it's really light and fun, and I like hearing their analysis because it's very, like, specific to the game and relates to quarterback play. A little bit more in depth than you get the regular telecast. And the guests are fun. Like, they had on Barack Obama, Deion Sanders.
They had on Obama?
Yes!
That's huge.
Yes!
Wow.
So, and they have, like, comedians, people who are funny, like Vince Vaughn. So it was always, like, a good time. So if I was home and I could watch the Monday Night Football game, I would turn on their telecast.
Wow.
And I was shocked how much I liked it.
That's a good pick. That's great.
Had to throw in a curveball.
Definitely a curveball. I'll have to check that out.
So that was my biggest surprise. You know, you don't really think about, the telecast, the broadcasters mean that much.
Right.
But sometimes it does. And they're really fun and light. They don't do every Monday night game, but a handful throughout the season. So recommend, if you are watching live Monday Night Football, check out the Manning cast.
That's great advice. I'll have to do that next time.
Yes.
Okay, so my biggest surprise was the New York Jets. They actually got us excited for once.
Yep.
I feel like every season I'm always disappointed. They're always like, oh, it's the Jets year. The Jets are going to do so well. But they actually did do well. And
it was a shock.
It was a shock because we expect the absolute least from the Jets organization, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Pleasantly surprised.
Of course, they did end up disappointing me in the end because we should have made the playoffs. We should have.
Yeah, I mean, I almost put the Jets as my disappointment because
they
got us excited. They gave us a little glimmer of hope,
and then they disappointed
us. So I don't know I don't know what's better. Just be bad or be good enough.
Yeah,
but not make it.
But still be bad.
So exactly. It's tough.
I was literally thinking of doing my biggest disappointment and my biggest surprise as the Jets. I really. Because I was so excited.
It's fitting. They fit both.
That they did well this season, but of course they didn't make the playoffs and they just fumbled the ball literally in the end. Yeah. So it was rough, the season ending, but everyone is saying that the Jets are going to go, like, really far next season. They just need the quarterback.
Fingers crossed.
Draft. Let's see. But we don't even have, like, a good draft pick because we did well.
Yeah. You know, we are in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah.
Bit of a predicament.
A little bit.
But let's see. Maybe the front office, the management, the general manager has something up his sleeve.
Yeah, because they're just so known for being such a great front office.
Exactly. We really trust them.
We trust them to make really good
this year, they stepped up because we won Offensive Rookie and Defensive Rookie of the Year.
I mean.
Which hasn't happened in decades. So the Jets...
Good. They're
turning it around.
They're stepping up. Exactly. That's why they're my biggest...
Step in the right direction.
Yeah. That's why...
It's a good one.
They're my biggest surprise. I was excited to...
It was a surprise.
I was excited to see the growth. Yeah. So hopefully next season the Jets will make the playoffs.
I hope so.
That'll be great. Okay. Now on to less good news. What's your biggest disappointment
of the regular season?
Yes.
So, as you know, again, I have a lot of different teams and players I like. Right. One of those teams is the New Orleans Saints. And bit of backstory. We have family in Mississippi.
Yes, we do.
And they are Saints fans. So, like, growing up, that kind of became a team that I adopted. Drew Brees was one of my favorite players. I just love the story of them winning the Super Bowl after Hurricane Katrina. And New Orleans is also one of my favorite cities. So that's a team that I have adopted, but sadly, this was an awful season. They had no success. It was the first season without Sean Payton, and this is their second season removed since Drew Brees retired, and it just was awful. Nothing positive happened. We didn't make the playoffs. Our interim coach struggled. Andy Dalton was a starting quarterback instead of Jameis Winston because he was hurt. Like, all around mess.
Hot mess.
Which is crazy because we have such good players like Alvin Kamara and Demario Davis and Cam Jordan.
Yeah.
I feel like we're squandering talent.
Alvin Kamara was on my fantasy team. Such a disappointment.
I know. You still won, though. You still won, so couldn't have been that bad. But, yeah, the Saints, that was my biggest disappointment. I really thought we had the roster and talent to try and do something, but clearly losing a really great coach and a really great quarterback.
Yeah. It takes a toll. That's
my biggest disappointment.
I thought you were going to say what I'm going to say, which is Russell Wilson and the Broncos.
I know. I didn't want to drag on him too much, I agree. It was tough. Explain to everyone what happened. Explain.
Yes. So, as we talked about, we were both very excited to see what Russ was going to do.
We're big Russell Wilson
fans.
fans.
We love Russell Wilson.
We have his jersey.
We have his Seahawks jersey.
Yes.
We also love him and Sierra. My goodness.
Beautiful couple.
We love them so much. So we were so excited to see, what he does. We want the best for him. But the Broncos finished with a 5-12 record.
That's right.
And last in the AFC West.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Russell got hurt, so he was out for a good chunk of the season. But it was just disappointment after disappointment because there was so much hype around him leaving Seattle, starting fresh, saying, like, this is his new beginning. And then it was just nothing. Literally nothing. And it was so hard to watch.
It was. And I think part of it is, right, they had a new coach who wasn't that great and wasn't making the best decisions. They're putting Russ into a new system. Like, it takes time.
Right.
But there was so much pressure, so much buzz, so much build-up that there was literally no grace. So the second it looked like a hot mess, people pounced. And there was, like, no glimmer of hope. None. But I believe Russ can get back.
They're going to turn around?
They're going to turn it around. That's one of my predictions for the offseason.
Okay.
The return of Russ.
Okay.
I believe it. Return of Russ.
I like it. I'm here for it, too. I'm hoping for the return of Russ as well. Okay. So, on to our next category. Players you love to hate.
Juicy category.
I know. Juicy.
It's actually a lot we could choose, but...
Who is someone in the league who you're just not a fan of?
Shocker, it's Tom Brady.
Spoiler alert, mine's also Tom Brady.
So get ready. If you are a big Tom Brady fan, turn us off now.
Yeah, skip ahead.
So, right, we're New Yorkers, we grew up Jets fans. Already didn't like Brady. It was just too much dominance. Yeah. They were cheaters, Deflategate, and Strygate.
Every chance they had.
We were at the butt fumble game.
We went to that Thanksgiving.
There's a lot of trauma.
Lots of trauma.
With the Patriots.
Yes.
And then, right, I'm a Saints fan. Somehow Tom Brady wants to keep traumatizing me by coming to the Buccaneers.
Yes.
Who are in the Saints division, and then winning a Super Bowl. So...
Horrible.
A Super Bowl that he shouldn't have won. The one time we need Mahomes to win, he loses.
I can't.
So, there's a lot of trauma, and I just don't like him at all. And then, for him to come out of retirement.
Girl.
Come out of retirement, play another season, divorce his wife.
Can't.
And have an awful season.
Just to retire again?
How embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
He barely made the playoffs. Like, a joke.
Train wreck.
We
love to see it.
And I was happy about it. Like, I'm normally not someone that likes to see other people suffer or struggle.
Yeah.
But in this case,
we're dancing.
Happy.
We're feeling great.
Yeah. So, it was the season from hell for him, and I was glad.
I know. I was like, man really, really destroyed his marriage to do that.
So embarrassing. So embarrassing.
Good for Giselle.
Good for Giselle.
Good for Giselle.
Team Giselle.
Yes. You said there's a lot. What was, just give me your dishonorable mention.
I know. My dishonorable mention.
Give me a little taste.
Aaron Rodgers.
Shocker! Spoiler alert. Me too.
We're very aligned on this.
Like Aaron Rodgers.
We're not a big fan. Haven't been a fan for a while.
Yeah.
But this season it got worse. He had such a bad attitude. He got a new contract and then didn't really want to play.
Yes.
And
also went through a breakup.
I can't. With who? Shailene Woodley.
Yeah.
So embarrassing. He was doing like weird retreats and being in the dark, and he just is a big distraction.
Yeah.
It's like too much. But like I feel like is just so annoying and wants to be a celebrity and in pop culture and that he's a distraction for his team, and no wonder his team didn't make the playoffs.
Did not.
I'm not surprised.
Yes, I totally second everything you said, and also deep cut for all you Bachelor fans out there. Another reason why we do not like Aaron Rodgers is because his brother Jordan Rodgers was on JoJo's season of The Bachelorette.
Yes, that's right.
And they spent a lot of time being like, yeah, our entire family doesn't talk to Aaron. He's burned all the bridges, and we do not speak to him. And I was like, that's a red flag.
That's a red flag. Your family.
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
So that's
strange.
Another big plot point.
It's strange.
In our Disney.
Doesn't seem right.
Right. It doesn't sit well.
So
for all you Bachelorette fans.
Yeah, he just has a bad attitude, weird energy.
Yeah.
Very cocky. Like, of course his team was playing awful, and he was feeling hurt, but he plays the Bears just so he can say we own the Bears. Like, he just,
rough. Okay.
Not a fan. But enough.
Yes. Enough of
this.
Negativity.
Moving on.
Okay, players you love to love.
Love to love.
Who are your faves?
So, I'm always rooting for everybody black, as you know.
Always.
Well,
we'll get to that.
I'm screwing. Okay. My player that I love to love is Jalen Hurts.
Spoiler alert! Me too!
Oh, we're so aligned!
Yes.
So, Jalen Hurts, if you don't know, is the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
I actually met him at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama, when I was there for work. And
what year was this?
This was right before the pandemic, so 2020, January 2020. And I really wanted to meet his agent because she's this like very powerful black woman. And I heard her speak at a conference, and it was just really cool to meet her. But he was there, so I also got to meet him. And he's just so well-spoken and thoughtful and gives back and is also really cute.
Oh, yeah.
And I just, all-around fan, just want the best for him. And if you think about his story and his growth and what he's been through, and to be like such a good quarterback now, the resilience, the work ethic, all-around fan.
Yes.
All-around fan.
I am with you. Second, everything Shelby said. Definitely one of the main reasons I love Jalen Hurts is that, I mean, he's hot. Come on.
I know.
He's beautiful.
He is.
He's beautiful.
May have a crush.
Also, yes, he's also a black quarterback who is thriving, super successful. And we need slowly, more and more teams are getting black quarterbacks, but like, we love to see the success. We need more of them.
Yes, especially when he had doubters.
Right? Lots
of People were coming out of the woodworks.
Yeah.
Hating on him. And look at him now.
I know.
Playing in a Super Bowl.
Yes. He dominated this season. If I'm not wrong, best record in the league.
Yes.
Yes. They crushed, so we're so proud of him. Made it all the way to the Super Bowl. Almost, MVP candidate, for sure.
MVP candidate, yes. He didn't win, but he came in second.
Yes. So we love him. Okay, so now let's talk about the playoffs. This was a really interesting playoff season. So first we have to talk about, we went to a playoff game.
We did!
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. Yes. So
guess where it was? Santa Clara again.
We
saw the Niners.
Yes, we did.
Levi Stadium.
Playing the Seahawks. So we went to the divisional game. Or the
wild card
game.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was the wild card round. we didn't have super high expectations. I did not have super high expectations going in because the Seahawks just slid into the playoffs.
Right.
Because they had done okay this season. The return of Geno Smith, we love to see it. We love a Geno Smith renaissance. But they were fine, and the Niners were more of a juggernaut. Mm-hmm. So I was a little skeptical on how the game would be, but thought it would be fun regardless. Yeah. But it was actually a pretty competitive game.
Yes, until the
second half. Yes. It was more of a blowout.
But in the first half, we were
pretty competitive.
We were concerned.
The Seahawks had the lead at halftime.
Yes, they did. They were playing really well. Mm-hmm. And we were like, oh my gosh, the Niners can't lose this game.
They're division rivals.
Yeah. So it was a big
game. A lot of
game.
history between them.
So it was just so fun being in that environment. And also, it was raining most of the time.
And we don't really like the rain.
No, we don't like the elements.
No. So the fact that we were at a playoff game in the rain... A little shocking.
We
were pretty committed. We were sitting in the rain, eating our food.
I remember eating like damp tenders. And
it was tough. My vegan hot dog. It was a struggle. It was rough.
But it was super fun, and and then it ended up the Niners ended up crushing. So in the end,
so it was really fun. Our first playoff game.
Yes, lots of offense, lots of scoring. Yes. I remember Debo had like a crazy catch. Do you remember
he's
that?
So good.
So that was super fun. So we did have a little playoff experience. Yes. So that was a great time. So coming in, who did you think was gonna go off in the playoffs?
I was really rooting for the Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
Not only, it's a great story, post-Damar Hamlin. Buffalo had been through a lot, the crazy storms, and the city, the players, the people. I just wanted Buffalo to win. We also went to school in upstate New York, so Western New York represent.
Yes.
A lot of reasons.
Rise up for Western New York.
A lot of reasons we like Buffalo.
I agree.
And I'm just hoping they could make it.
Yes, it felt like their year.
It felt
really
like their year.
It really did. Yeah, I agree. I was definitely rooting for the Bills.
Yeah.
And I also was rooting for the Niners, not just because I now live there, but it felt like they were doing so well. Yeah. Brock Purdy, led team. No one was expecting them to do well. It just also felt like...
Yes. Things were aligning.
Yes, things were aligning for both of those teams.
Yes.
So that leads us to our biggest playoff upsets.
Ugh. I know.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's going to be that Bills-Bengals game.
That's also my pick,
I was literally at a sports bar with a friend watching it, and it's like the Bills were never in it. And it was so disappointing. I'm not a big Bengals fan. I think they're way too cocky. So I was happy, honestly, the next week when they kind of lost. I was like, we're not a big Chief fan.
No.
But... I was happy. I was like, okay.
Right.
Calm down.
And also, I didn't realize this until I had a couple friends visiting town. But apparently the internet is obsessed with Joe Burrow. Did you know that?
I kind of heard that, yes.
Yeah, but apparently one of my friends who
He's
doesn't
in a lot
watch,
of memes, I feel like.
Who doesn't watch football was like, oh my gosh, but who's the hot guy? And I was like, who are you talking about? And then she showed me TikToks of Joe Burrow sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah. I can't.
And... I was so confused. I had no idea. So apparently, the internet's obsessed with Joe Burrow.
Well, you follow Betches, right?
Yes.
So I was watching a Betches video, and they were asking people oh, who's in the Super Bowl, or are you watching the NFL playoffs? And they were like, Joe Burrow. And that's when I realized, I guess Joe Burrow, people know who he is.
Yes.
And he's kind of like a star.
He's a star.
But I think it's because he has a lot of memeable moments. His sunglasses, the cigars.
Right, people think he's hot.
Yeah, Joe Cool,
Yes, so he's very memeable.
Yes.
Yeah, so that kind of feeds into the cockiness you're talking about.
Yeah.
He has a lot of fans.
Yes, it makes sense.
Yeah, so I agree. I was really, really disappointed the Bills lost. Plus, Damar Hamlin was in the stadium.
I know.
It just felt like this was their year.
Their time. It was a disappointment.
To win for Damar, go all the way, all of that. I was also very, very disappointed.
It was sad.
Yeah. Okay, so now we gotta talk about the Super Bowl.
Of course. The big game.
Yes, the biggest game.
The biggest game.
Okay, so were you excited about this matchup?
I was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as we both said, the player I love to love, Jalen Hurts.
He
was in the game. I liked a couple players on Philly. I liked their story. They were the number one seed coming out of the NFC, right?
Right.
So they were good all season, but I feel like they were also kind of underdogs. Like, people weren't really sold on them.
Right.
So I liked their story. And I also don't like the Chiefs. So default picking the Eagles.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Definitely was rooting for the Eagles. Someone who I could have put after Tom Brady, players I love to hate. I do not like Patrick Mahomes. That's a hot take.
Tell us why.
Him. I just similarly, I think Kansas City's becoming the new Patriots.
Oof.
They are. They're so dominant. They're so cocky. I just don't like that team. And I don't love Patrick Mahomes. He's just very cocky to me. I don't like that franchise. I don't. And it hurts me to say that, but I know they got a lot of fans and I don't think there were that many people rooting for the Eagles. I feel like most of the people I met were rooting for Kansas City. Because they're just that team now that people love because they're so dominant. All of that. Yeah.
Most people I knew were rooting for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because of Jalen Hurts, honestly.
Right. That could be it.
Or East Coast. And I also know a lot of people that I think went to school in Philly. So that could be why.
Right, that could be why.
Yeah.
So, coming in, we are both rooting for the Eagles.
I know.
Super excited about Jalen. They were dominating the whole season.
I know.
And Kansas City looked a little raggedy a few times.
Yeah, it's crazy because they did not look like the best team.
No, they had a lot of close wins.
Even in the playoffs, they barely beat the Bengals. They barely beat the Jaguars. And now the Super Bowl champions. I don't really understand.
And there's some conspiracies going around.
The NFL script.
The NFL script. Because these games are too close. The amount of times Kansas City won.
Some tough
within
calls.
5 seconds. A lot of close calls. Were a little ticky-tack.
I agree.
Little conspiracy.
Little suspect.
So, that's also another reason why I don't like Kansas City, because it feels like the NFL wants them to win.
I know.
And the refs are on their side. All those things.
It was tough.
Yes. But a big storyline about the game was that there were 2 black quarterbacks.
Yes. There was. I mean, it was history. It was history. History was made. I am glad that it was celebrated.
Yes.
Do I always believe that people were super excited about it? Maybe not. Just given the history of the sport and the world we live in.
Yeah, and the NFL is very white man, That's the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
So, and especially the quarterback is typically white.
Yeah, so I'm like, are people really happy
even
though
the NFL is predominantly black.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's the first time it ever happened.
Yeah.
So step in the right direction, but yeah. So it was interesting to see how people were talking about it.
Yes, it was. I also, might be a hot take. I think it's interesting when some players really embrace their black culture and blackness.
Right.
And not every player does. So it would be interesting if it was Lamar Jackson versus Jalen Hurts or, something like that.
Right.
But,
yeah, I agree. I know we're not the biggest Mahomes fans.
Yeah.
We don't feel like when we see
I don't necessarily feel like he's represented.
Yes.
He's representing me.
I agree. But we don't necessarily feel represented by him.
No, but
yeah, technically 2 black quarterbacks for the Super Bowl.
Technically. That is right.
So we love to see it.
That is right.
We love to see it.
Good for him.
Yes. Good for him. Okay, so we have to talk about the most exciting thing about the Super Bowl.
Get back on track.
Oh my goodness. What was your reaction when Rihanna got announced?
I was thrilled.
I was shook.
I was shocked because it's been 8 years or something since she last performed live.
2016 was her last album.
Yeah, it's crazy. She hasn't performed live in forever. She hasn't released an album in forever.
Right.
And she had previously turned down doing the Super Bowl. So I was shocked but thrilled because she was one of the main singers of our generation. Growing up.
Yeah, that was
ever since Pond to Replay and Don't Stop the Music. We were listening to her.
Good Girl Gone Bad. Iconic.
Playlist
of my childhood.
I think I had the CD.
Yeah. Oh, we definitely did. That was on the iPod Shuffle, the iPod Nano.
Crazy.
All of it. iPod Classic.
Literally.
Every generation of the iPod.
Literally.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. We loved Rihanna. And as I was preparing for the Super Bowl, I was listening to all of her older albums.
So many hits.
So many hits.
Prolific.
Yeah, so we were so excited. I couldn't believe it. Because I feel like someone as big as Rihanna, you wouldn't expect to do the Super Bowl.
And because she hasn't performed or made music in so long, you thought like, oh, why would she do this now?
Yeah, exactly. But I will say, I thought that she was going to release music before
I know.
the Super Bowl,
I think
right?
almost everyone thought
or premiere a new single, something. So
it's like good promotion.
Disappointed that there wasn't, there still hasn't been new music. Yes, she has Lift Me Up from Black Panther. Yeah. But that
doesn't really count.
No, it doesn't really count. We want more music from her. So I'm so disappointed we haven't gotten anything because I feel like this would have been the perfect time to debut a new song. Literally. Right?
I also think it shows how she's kind of like doing what she wants. Which I
she doesn't
appreciate.
Care.
She does not care.
No.
She's like, I'm going to live my life with my family, have kids, run Fenty, and do my thing.
Exactly. She's doing her thing. She does not care about us.
I really respect it.
Exactly. Okay, so what were you expecting from the performance?
I honestly was just expecting like a good sing along. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like karaoke.
Like karaoke sesh, because I think I've talked to friends beforehand. We know Rihanna. She's not like a dancer. No. She's not really like a big performer.
She more like vibes.
She more like vibes.
Not
like
a whole lot of
I'm not gonna expect the choreography you saw with J-Lo, Beyonce. Like that's not her energy.
Right, I agree.
So I was very excited, but I don't think I had the crazy high expectations. Mm-hmm. I think I just wanted to have a good time and sing along to some of my favorite songs.
I totally agree. She was going to play all the anthems.
Yes.
But she wasn't going to do the Beyonce choreo.
No.
Right. I agree. And that's exactly what she gave us. She was vibing.
Yes, she was vibing.
Yes. I mean, my goodness, when I saw her with the pregnancy reveal.
I mean, it was unreal.
My goodness.
I can't even imagine.
How is she
doing that performance?
Pregnant.
She was so high up.
Moving.
She was moving like...
Yeah.
Unreal. Iconic.
No, I thought it was great. I know that I've asked a lot of people what they thought about the performance. Obviously, the pregnancy reveal was the biggest gag.
That was the biggest
whole thing.
Yes.
And so iconic of her to do that. Yeah. I mean...
Iconic.
Loved it. But, of course, it wasn't going to be the craziest, choreo we've ever seen. It wasn't super dramatic or, I guess, different or cutting edge. We talked about when The Weeknd did the Super Bowl. He was doing things we had never seen.
He was crazy.
Yeah, he was
on brand.
The wall.
He was
on
off
brand.
The walls.
But I thought she gave us what we wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
She played a lot of the hits. She was whining. She was doing her dances that she usually does. She had lots of very attractive backup dancers.
She did, which we also love.
Yes, which we also love. So I think she did a good job.
I think so too.
Yes, it wasn't the best halftime, of course.
No.
I think J-Lo, Shakira, and the Beyonce halftime still live in my mind rent free or at the top.
Literally.
But I thought she did really well.
It was great. Everyone was talking about it. I'm so happy for her, and I feel like it's an inspiration to just do what you want.
Right. She's so unapologetic. And, she just lives her best life. I love it. Truly. And the fact that she opened with Bitch Where I Have My Money.
That was insane.
That was great.
Of all the songs. I respect it.
I remember everyone was betting, okay, what do you think she's going to open with? What do you think? No one. Everyone lost their money.
Literally.
No one was betting on Bitch Where I Have My Money.
No one thought that.
That was great.
Iconic.
I loved it. Yeah, so Rihanna, we're proud of you.
So proud.
Congrats on baby number 2.
Yes.
Yeah, so our thoughts on the Super Bowl halftime show. And I mean, I will say the actual game.
You didn't watch?
I actually was, I was doing wine tastings during the day, so I didn't really watch the game.
Sounds like a fun way to spend the day.
It was a great way to spend the day. But I did tune into the fourth quarter.
That's the best time to tune in.
Right, exactly. And I'm glad I did because I got to see, the ending. It was very dramatic.
Yes.
Of course, Patrick Mahomes marched them down the field.
Ugh.
Which, as an Eagles fan, that was hard to watch.
It was tough. And the Eagles were literally leading all day.
I know.
So I honestly, I went away from it, like, unsure how they lost. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
Like, yes, there were some questionable calls. Yes, the defense couldn't make stops. But I'm like, dang, they really had the lead the whole time.
I know. What
until the end, when it mattered.
Conspiracy.
I know, the NFL script.
The NFL script. I know, that's the thing. Because I was checking the score periodically throughout the day. And I was like, oh, good. The Eagles are up. The Eagles are up. Yeah, but then, of course, somehow, Mahomes pulled it off.
Yeah, it was confusing.
Yeah, that was rough to see at the end.
It was tough.
Yes. Congrats to Kansas City.
I guess. I mean, I like Travis Kelce. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's fun. It's just like, how many times do I need to see Kansas City win the Super Bowl?
It's only been twice, but I agree.
Wait, twice? It feels like they've won, like,
I know. Well, they've been
in it a lot.
Yeah.
But it feels like they win.
Well, they're just so dominant. They're all, like, they've won, I think, their division, like, 8 years in a row.
Right.
Like, they're always in the conversation. They're always in the playoffs. They're always in the conversation.
Yes, exactly. So I want to see other people win and succeed. It's too much dominance for me. So, congrats. Okay. So now on to our what to watch segments. Now, so moving on from the 2023 season. Okay, what were like your overall season themes? Like, things you took away from the season?
I think I took away, it's a great time to be a black quarterback.
Hey.
We saw a lot of success, of course, with Jalen and Patrick Mahomes, but also in the playoffs, you had, Geno Smith with his return, and I just think it's exciting and inspiring for this upcoming generation. So, love to see that.
Yes, we do.
I also think like not counting people out and people proving them wrong, proving doubters wrong. You saw that with Jalen Hurts. You saw that with Justin Fields on the Bears. People sort of count him out, but he crushed it this season. Crushed might be strong, but I think he really showed improvement. And now the Bears believe in him as in their starting quarterback. The Brock Purdy, Mr. Relevant, the last pick in the draft.
Crazy.
Starting a playoff game for the Niners.
Right.
I mean,
winning a playoff game.
It's, I think, the underdogs, the people that have been counted out, proving their doubters wrong and haters wrong. I feel like that was a big theme.
That's really good. And I think kind of like what we were talking about before, I think the NFL is such a tricky organization because it's very male, it's very white, and obviously inherently very dangerous. Yeah. And I think the Damar Hamlin injury just started such a big conversation. Yeah. And I remember after that game, we were like this game is really, so scary. It's scary and it's hard to watch, and you see these people literally put their lives at risk every single time they step on the field. So I think, obviously, we love football, but we need to make sure we're not idealizing, danger, and making sure that we're prioritizing player safety first. So
completely agree.
Because I remember when we watched the Niners game live when they lost in the playoffs. People were being like, kill him. It was
too intense.
It was
it was scary.
Disturbing.
People get way too into the games.
And it was
these are human beings.
Right, and this was post Damar Hamlin. And I was like, why are people rooting for yelling, kill him, take him out?
It's awful.
It's horrible. People are literally passing out and going to the hospital. Let's not.
Yeah, we shouldn't be hoping.
We should not hoping that on anyone.
It's my least favorite part of a game when anyone gets hurt. I'm like, ugh, I don't want to see it. It makes me uncomfortable. I completely agree. And it's also crazy because even though I think the NFL this season, the Damar Hamlin situation, kind of put them to the brink and showed how dangerous it is, the NFL is the most popular it has ever been.
Right. It's thriving.
It is thriving.
Right.
Ratings are through the roof.
So strange.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
They have America hooked. In spite of it. We're hooked.
Watching.
We like our football.
I know. It's crazy. Yeah. So those are good themes. Okay, so let's talk about the offseason. Like, what are we watching, looking forward to? I know there's always a lot going on in the offseason.
Yes.
Trades, coaches, the draft.
Yes. Stuff's already happened. Like, Sean Payton decided to coach the Broncos. So, I think that'll be a factor in helping Russell Wilson return to form.
Yes.
I have a feeling he's going to be back and better than ever. The return of Russ.
Yes.
The Russ Renaissance.
The Russ Renaissance. Russ and Beyonce Renaissance.
Hey, that's right. That's right. So that's something I'm keeping my eye on. Also, I feel like we've talked about the Jets way too much. But E-T-S, Jets. Probably the most the Jets have ever been talked about on a podcast. They need a quarterback. Yes, so I'm on quarterback watch for the Jets. I hope it's not Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr, which have been some rumors. That sounds like the worst case scenario. As we already said, Aaron Rodgers is the one we love to hate, so would not want him as our quarterback.
No, ma'am.
And I don't think Derek Carr would move the needle, to be honest. So I hope we get a quarterback, just not those two.
Yes. I second everything you said. I was also going to say the Jets, on the lookout for the quarterback. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the draft.
Yes.
And yeah, that Sean Payton move, I mean.
It was big.
Huge.
Especially in a division that already has Mahomes and Andy Reid, Justin Herbert. Who knows what's going on with the Raiders, but it's a tough division.
Yeah. Okay, do you have a pick for next season? Who do you think's going all the way?
Oof. I don't want to say the Chiefs, even though it does seem like they're the most set up.
Yeah.
Which is tough for me to even say.
Rough.
But I do feel like the team that had the most complete team, but just kind of faltered at the end because of quarterback issues, was the Niners.
That's my pick, too.
I honestly feel like the Niners...
They really could have gone all the way.
They really could have gone all the way.
I know.
They seem like the most complete team. And if they just can not have a quarterback get hurt, maybe they could be the Super Bowl.
I agree. I think it's the Niners. My other pick's going to be the Bills. They should have gone all the way.
Laura, I want it so bad, but...
They should have.
I want it so bad, but I think it's hard for them to get over the hump of the Chiefs and now the Bengals. It's hard for them to beat those teams. I want it so bad. If it was a Bills-Niners Super Bowl, I'd be thrilled. I'd love that.
I'd love that, too.
I'd love that.
Perfect. Okay, so that's our prediction.
Bills-Niners.
Bills-Niners Super Bowl 2024 season. Yes. Okay, well, this was a great episode.
We showed you our football knowledge.
Yes.
That's right.
We're sisters who watch football.
Yes.
Get into it. Yes. Okay, well, thank you so much for listening. Let us know your thoughts about this recent season. Yes. And of course, Rihanna. I mean, the highlight of the season, for sure. Yeah. Okay, thanks so much for listening, y'all.
Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Sisters who watch everything.